In this video, we are going to talk about Toshi, some of its recent price action, as well as the important support and resistance areas, and where we can expect the price of Toshi to go in the next few days and weeks. So we'll look at the weekly chart, and what we can see right here is that Toshi is continuing to dump in the last few months. We've seen it continuously dump since October, breaking down below every single support area. First, it broke down below this crucial trend line, then quickly dumped to this next support area, consolidated there for a while, and then broke down below it as well, retested it, it got rejected off of it, and kept dumping. And now it's all the way down at basically its all-time low. It's just barely holding on to its all-time low from all the way back in April of 2025. So right now Toshi is at a very crucial decision point. Can it get support off of the all-time low and start a rally from here, or will it just continue dumping and break into new all-time lows? Although we did already see Toshi set a slightly lower all-time low, it very quickly rallied back up, and the situation of Toshi is completely unclear at the moment. It does seem likely that Toshi will at least get some support from this area, but whether the support will only be temporary before Toshi continues to dump into new all-time lows, or if it can actually be a more sustainable rally, potentially all the way back up to this resistance area that used to be support. If Toshi can get a rally from here, this would be the first target at around 0.00037. This would be a rally of nearly 2x, about 90% from where Toshi is at right now. And then if it can cross that as well, then the next significant target would be this trend line. And then if it can also cross that, then the next target would be this next resistance area at about 0.00075, which would be an absolutely explosive rally for Toshi. But this is still very speculative at the moment, and it is not looking very likely. But of course, with such a small market cap meme coin like Toshi, such a volatile move could happen very quickly, so we can never really say never. In general, my outlook on the crypto market right now, after the recent very significant dumps by Bitcoin and Ethereum and basically the entire market, Bitcoin went all the way down to about 60k, and Bitcoin is basically at the same level as it was all the way back in the top of 2021. Bitcoin is already down about 50% from its all-time high, and in my opinion, Bitcoin is already at pretty cheap territories. And after such a violent dump in the last few weeks, I would expect it to at least get a relief rally short term. So if that does happen, then Toshi will most likely follow it at least to an extent and get a bit of a relief rally as well. This would also make a lot of sense since it's at this crucial support area right now. So with both of these aspects combined, I think that the likelihood of a bit of a rally for Toshi is pretty high sometime relatively soon. But of course, if Toshi actually continues to dump and closes a weekly candle below the all-time high, basically at 0.0002, then that would likely lead to Toshi continuing to dump a lot further. So of course, both scenarios are very possible, but I think that a bit of a rally for Toshi is probably a bit more likely. So I think that sometime relatively soon, we will see a very significant rally in the entire crypto market. And if that does happen and Bitcoin and Ethereum do quite well, then Toshi will likely follow it as well as some other altcoins. But still, I would mostly stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I would only strategically choose some very specific altcoins. I think that a full-on alt season is still very unlikely at the moment. I think that some altcoins will do very well, but most altcoins will still likely underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum. And right now, as I said, the potential for a rally for Toshi all the way up to the first resistance area is about a 90% rally, which seems very good, but again, for such a small market cap meme coin, it's not that impressive, and holding Toshi is very risky in my opinion. So again, I do think that it's pretty likely for Toshi to get a rally, and it can definitely perform well in the next few weeks and months, but it's probably not going to be one of my top picks in the altcoin market. Of course, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but that's just what I personally think. It's not looking too horrible in my opinion, but also not the best. And I would still be very careful and selective with altcoins at the moment with how the crypto market is right now. If Toshi does actually end up crossing this resistance area and closes a weekly candle above it, then that could lead to it getting an even more significant rally, as I said before. And then that rally would be about a 4x from where it is at right now, which could be a lot more significant. But again, I'm just not really sure that it's worth the risk that comes with Toshi at the moment. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want more updates about Toshi as well as other altcoins, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.